us for a Celticfest, Whisky Kiss, and more. Today on the Express, we're celebrating the many nations that come together in BC. And don't you worry, this bottle is not my co-host. On today's show, sharing stories with the dancers of Damelahamid.
Starry night.
Maple Ridge's rising star on the pop music scene.
You're in Mexico right now here, guys.
Authentic Mexican fare, where you least expect it. And later, exciting news about the city of Bangla. See that and more local expression. Welcome to the Express, only on Shot TV. I'm Johanna Ward. Filipino, First Nations, Indo-Mexican. We have so many nations to toast on today's show, including the Celtic ones. We're kicking off our Express at the Whisky tasting event, which is part of Celticfest Vancouver. Although I have to be honest and tell you, I'm not sure I want to kiss anybody, and I'm even less sure that I can handle the scotch. I have been belly up to the bar many times, but never for whiskey.
Well, that's just your misfortune.
Time will tell on that, but what I do know is if you're going to try whiskey for the first time, or even the 50th, Mike Nicholson is definitely the guy to share a bar stool with. He comes from a family of distillers and has worked for the world's best distilleries.
Whiskey can come from any country in the world. Scotch whiskey can only come from one, and that's Scotland, which is my home.
You could say that whiskey's in his blood. After dedicating his life to the liquid, he still remembers the first time he sipped it.
Just like in ancient times, first time I ever tasted it, it was medicine.
Ah, the hot toddy. But there's no honey or lemon on tap for today's tasting. This is the good stuff, and you drink it straight up.
We've got two whiskies to look at. One is Dalwhinnie, which comes from just about the middle of Scotland. It's what they call a Highland whiskey. What does it smell like to you?
Crown Royal? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. In all seriousness, I'm not getting much, but Mike's nose has a story or two to share.
And that, to me, says a kind of nice sweet smell, and a bit malty maybe.
Mike has us add water to make it easier to smell deeper into the whiskey. Then you warm it with your hands and get your nose right in there.
Is it sweet or bitter?
Sweet.
Correct. Taste.
And folks, may I remind you, this is the light one. When tasting whiskey, like with beer or wine, you start light and work up to the more flavorful. But the truth is, whiskey's not for everyone. Mike's advice is to be ready.
Because some people just kind of aren't, you know. If they don't want to go on a big flavour journey, they shouldn't go. But if they are interested in exploring the kind of huge range of tastes that's available in Scotch whiskey, I can help.
You think maybe he's referring to me? The crowd here at the Whisky Kiss Scotch tasting seems quite prepared to tackle all 6 scotches. But Mike only has one more for me to try.
This one. Different colour maybe?
Yeah, that's beautiful, hey?
Darker. This comes from the island of Skye. Distillery called Talisker. It's a big flavour.
Big flavor that translates as a big smell.
Oh, and that smells like disinfectant. Isn't it? Hospital.
It smells like it just punched me in the face.
But the big surprise comes with the sip.
Doesn't taste that bad, does it?
No, it doesn't. Yum.
There you are. I've made you into a tough guy.
I like it. I'm in.
Oh, I think I just got whooped by the whiskey, hey? You can go to the website CelticFestVancouver.com to get a complete list of all the concerts and street events, including find a map for the big street parade that happens on Sunday, March the 18th. Later on today's Express, we're going to share in more of that Celtic global tradition with a performance by Delhi to Dublin. But right now, we're taking you inside the Coastal First Nations Dance Festival. It's a chance to share in the lived traditions with full regalia, reverence, and even dance royalty.
We have to look to our past in order to move forward, so it's really important not to forget.
The dancers of Damelahamid are the hosts and main performers at the Coastal First Nations Dance Festival.
So the dancers of Damelahamid, in partnership with the Museum of Anthropology, produce the Coastal First Nations Dance Festival, and we've done so annually since 2008. It's a really wonderful celebration of coastal dances from all up and down the northwest coast of BC, into the Yukon, Alaska, Washington State.
I think for me the best part is bringing everybody together and really as a community supporting each other to share our dances. There's a lot of a sense of pride, a sense of celebration. Every year the dances seem to get even better and bigger, and the regalia gets even more special and spectacular, and I just love seeing everybody become stronger as a group and stronger as individuals, and it's just a really exciting thing to look forward to each year.
The Coastal First Nations Dance Festival also invites performers from other parts of the world.
It's absolutely awesome. I'm honoured to be here and share my culture and preview other cultures from this nation, and I can't praise it enough.
It's a big honor because it's for coastal people, and so when I got invited I was like, wow, that's so amazing. I'm Cree from Saskatchewan, and they want a Cree hoop dancer, so it's been a really big honor for the past 2 years.
Our lyrics say, I purify myself to meet my adversary. I cannot face them alone.
I think it's really important for Aboriginal people to come together as an international community of Indigenous peoples, because not only is there so much to be learned from one another in the traditions and the stories and the songs, but also there is a shared colonial history, and I think that we've all worked very hard to ensure within our families and with our own communities to ensure that we maintain and preserve and develop what we have, and I think it's important to have a support of a wider community in that conversation.
And the Coastal First Nations Dance Festival plans to continue to foster that conversation for many years to come. In Vancouver, I'm Kendall Harris for the Express.
The Coastal First Nations Dance Festival is an annual event. If you'd like to volunteer next year or find out where the troup's performing next, you can go to their website, damelahamid.ca. Now, another place that has a strong and proud First Nations culture, the Sea to Sky. That's also where Nicole Fitzgerald is making some new friends.
Thanks, Johanna. Contrary to popular belief, ski bums were not the first to discover Whistler. The Squamish and Lil'wat First Nations have lived in these lands since time immemorial. Both nations were blessed and showcased at a new exhibit today.
That's so cool, Nicole. Looking forward to seeing it. You know, there's so much talent and diversity in our communities and such a connection to history. Just have a look at what's coming up.
So you'll see collaborations between Israeli folk dancers with Punjabi dancers.
Find out why the city of Bhangra is now 2 cities.
I was on my favorite band's website. I was like, oh my gosh, that's my face. Like, what if they know I'm breathing? I was so excited.
See how Filipino-Canadian Ria D is making her dreams come true. The Express, only on Shaw TV.